Alright, my name's Trevor, from Ottawa, Ontario, born and raised, 21 years old. This is Adam Schmidt.
From Ottawa to Oshawa, Schmitty sent, pretty Schmitty up.
We came out, it was before the break, so a few weeks ago now when you guys were doing the live show. And what were you showcasing there? Because we were upstairs just now when we were going through the beats. Were any of those there at the live show?
We put a few of those in. We did just a regular club night, and then we decided to put up a few MCs to start promoting local talent. And just sort of get a voice out there to start to build more of a community in Peterborough. There isn't really anyone else out there who's doing it. I mean, like you were mentioning earlier, when you go out to the bar, I mean, everyone knows everyone. It's just a really good party and good vibes, and everyone sort of feels it. Schmidt sends in on it, all the homies are down. Golden Mean, fucking killing shit. That's just sad.
And it really was this community atmosphere, and you won't see that at other nightclubs where it's more of an electronic vibe. It was, yeah. I've only seen that with hip hop.
Yeah, well, I mean, also for me, starting out as a DJ, I was kind of into like the whole club thing, and I wanted to go towards that, but I just found that over time, like, if you're just the guy who's there on a Friday night playing music, you're not going to make a difference. You're not going to embrace that change in the community, so I decided to step up and start a company. We call it Golden Mean Entertainment. We started it in August of last year, so it's been at it for a couple months. We've hosted a couple parties, and it's slowly starting to pick up, and we're starting to gain a bit of a following in the community, and just sort of starting to get ready to be putting some of my own music out there. So.
And you guys were there, and do you work a lot with Color Up? Because I know they're a presence in the city as well. So what do you guys do with them?
Like you guys said, it's a community atmosphere. Everybody's got to work together. I mean, Peterborough is a pretty small place as it is, so there's not a lot of room for everybody if you're going to be competitive. So I mean, everybody's got to work together and hopefully make something happen out of the situation we got.
And it's not a combative atmosphere, I don't think, but it's definitely the good kind of competitive and the good kind of cooperative.
Yeah, I think like the efforts of other people definitely, like, it pushes us to get further, it pushes them to get further, but we also work alongside them, so it's sort of it's a very collaborative process here in Peterborough. I'd say there's a lot of people that are all working together. Like, for example, the track that me and Schmidt put together was the saxophone part on it was done by John, who's a sax player for the Token Players, which is one of the bigger funk bands here in town. So I mean, everyone's pretty open to work together in that sense, and it isn't really like the competitive atmosphere that's overwhelming in other big cities, right? So.
Absolutely. I mean, Peterborough is different from the Screwface being Toronto, where everybody kind of wants to see you fail. Here, I mean, everybody's got to work together, and that's what it's about. It's about building, just like Color Upwards, another group that, you know, I know Danny wants to bring in lots of different artists, lots of different collaborations. I mean, the difference, I guess, between what we're showing here and other cities and other DJ sets is that Trev is making the music. He's got MCs that are going to go on stage for him, and it's just a different overall presence opposed to other places that you'll see. It's better. Different and better.
So what does Peterborough offer you guys specifically as artists that you're not going to see in Toronto or Ottawa, besides, you know, that desire to fail? Is that a thing? Like, that's actually a thing.
People don't really want to see you do too well because, I mean, it's Canadian markets are different. It's just difficult. It's a different, I don't know. I just feel that, especially with hip hop, the basis has always been, you know, I'm better than you and this is why. So I mean, here it's just we're collaborating with DJs, different MCs. Thank God King of the Dot is coming to Peterborough, so if anybody wants to get, you know, combative, they can take it out there. As far as with these companies, I mean, it's just all love, and it's creating, something out of nothing. That Peterborough just, they don't have too many. I mean, of course, a lot of MCs come to Peterborough. We've seen almost The Game with Ghostface Killah. We get French Montana and things like that. So there's a hip hop presence, of course. We're just bringing it more in your face for a cheaper price.
With the Grammys after Macklemore, and then did you guys see the text that he sent them after he loses, and then he sends them this big essay. Oh, you should have won. What would you have sent somebody something like that?
I don't know. To start out, I just want to say Macklemore's I'll say that on camera. Put that on there. I want everyone to know that. Kendrick should have had it. Or there's a ton of other talent out there that was definitely more deserving than him.
Like who? More than Kendrick or Macklemore?
More than Macklemore.
Okay.
I'd
like
say
who?
Kendrick, Eminem even. I don't know, his last album coming out there. But it's hard to say. I don't know. He's definitely targeted this whole other side of rap, right? Where it's he does it for the kids almost.
Macklemore could get your grandma on the dance floor. I mean, it's a completely different genre that he appeals to, the commercial side, and that's who's giving out these awards. Kendrick, I think, is one of the best MCs to ever touch the mic, but I mean, he can't always get the recognition that he will deserve because his stuff he's swearing, he's talking about the situations that the mainstream doesn't want to deal with. Where Macklemore is enlightening people on situations that are in our media, and he's doing it in a very approachable circumstance. I think that's a problem I'll always have with our work, is that I like to talk about some dirty things. I will always be myself. I swear sometimes. I try not to, but I mean, I'm not going to try to appeal to the masses, I think, as hard as some of these artists would. So I mean, like Macklemore, some of these guys that have tamed down hip-hop and changing it into a different genre. I don't know. I think Kendrick, deserved it, but I can understand completely why Macklemore got it. I think he should have said that right on stage in front of everybody. He should have said, I don't deserve this award. I think someone else does. Maybe enlightened us a little bit why.
And that's what a lot of people were saying, where I think it was even when Drake weighed in, he said, no, if Kendrick won, Kendrick wouldn't have apologized. Why didn't you say something then if that's how you felt?
Yeah.
Now, with Kendrick, that Good Kid, Mad City, and that's almost unanimously described as, it's a phenomenal album. It's a landmark achievement for him, especially a young up-and-coming MC. That's definitely a story that has a narrative. It's doing something. You can feel it in between the tacks.
Yeah.
Do you guys try and do that when you're working with stuff?
I mean, we're just starting, and absolutely the thing that I like about that is it's a story. Not too many people make a real album anymore. Everybody wants to push the single, of course, and that's what sells. And I mean, Macklemore had singles. Kendrick put together an album. I feel Kendrick is comparable with some of these top MCs, especially Nas. For me, I always think Kendrick's like a present-day West Coast Nas. I just feel this kind of aura about him that I think, wow, if we could make an album with that kind of story, I mean, that would change Peterborough. But it seems like people are going for the singles now. I mean, we can't really play the whole album during a set, it would have to be what are the livest tracks and getting attention with what you have. But I mean, I think we'll definitely be trying to, put something together for the people that you guys are showing and, up to the show, showing interest. It's gotta happen.
Yeah, I think also it, what was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. Shit.
Kendrick album, something.
A live show, when you're in the booth during the live show, how do you conceptualize what's going on with the crowd before you even start doing your own thing and you're playing over these the hits, the tracks, whatever's hot? How do you get a sense of what the crowd is gonna respond to?
Well, I just look for things that, I always try to dig for remixes of popular songs that everyone knows the songs, those are the things that are going to get people onto the dance floor and get people moving. And you just sort of have to balance those out with songs that people don't know. They want to hear something new, but you also don't want to pull people too far away from their comfort zone. So you're trying to basically what I try to do is try to bring people back, always bring them back to stuff that they know, but also try to stray as far away from the typical DJ image, because if you look around in Peterborough, you go out to any of these bars any weekend, you're only going to hear the same music, right? So I always want to at least do something different, right? And there isn't really much hip hop in Peterborough either, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, not new stuff, like not new creative artists. There's some people out there, I mean, shout out to, whoever's doing their thing in Peterborough, of course. There's cats that are just like us, but not too many, guys that are getting their material across, which is too bad, because, I mean, there's good guys out there, and girls.
So, crowd reception aside and trying to spot indicators while you're out there, is the start with what they know and then push boundaries approach what you work with during production?
I would say that when I'm producing, I don't limit myself to anything. There are no boundaries to what I can and can't do, really. So I just normally start with the sound, something that I vibe with, something that I feel that people will dig, and that, I don't know, I guess I sort of I want to do something different. I'm not trying to make the same beat as someone else, right? But I know that you need to stay somewhat within those boundaries of something that fits, right? It needs to fit the atmosphere, it needs to fit the vibe of the lyrics too, right? So I guess it's all sort of fitting with that, but I definitely don't limit myself to anything, or I don't really think much before I sit down and start producing. So I just kind of go with the flow and just see what happens. Man of the moment. Yeah, it's crazy the type of stuff that can happen. I mean, like the track I was mentioning earlier that Schmidt and I made, I went over to a buddy's house, he invited me over to jam one night. By the end of the night, we had the single done. The people that are around you, the mood you're in and everything can really have a huge influence on what you can put together, so.
Atmospherically, does that affect the lyricism?
Absolutely. I mean, when you look in the crowd and you see guys that you recognize and people that are actually into it, sometimes I make, a song that I want someone to just make you want to punch someone in the face, or, you're going for a different look that's, makes you want to think and stuff. So, I mean, depending what's going on with the track, if I'm feeling the energy, you got to work with it. You got to take advantage of what the people are giving you right back. Yeah,
when I think punch someone in the face, I'm thinking Death Grips, Money Store, that, what's the initial track off that? I think it's Get God. It makes me, I want to put my head through a window when I hear that.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to think, MC, is it Lars? No, that's wrong.
On Death Grips?
Yeah,
MC Ride.
Wow, MC Ride, I love him because he's changing. There's a guy that's doing something different with hip hop, where he's taking it in almost like this kind of screamo direction with this rock energy, but still these hip hop beats. Absolutely, he would be an influence of mine, where if Trev's playing something that I'm seeing, these guys are starting to get crazy, you gotta come back with that volume of energy and even just sheer volume. I mean, you gotta fight back and own the crowd, own the energy, for sure. Death Grips would be somebody that I feel they even had an influence on Kanye's new album. With this new
Jesus, and that was very industrial.
Absolutely, industrial, rockish hip hop. I mean, I love it. I don't know.
What about Jesus? What do you think, Trevor?
I didn't really dig it that much.
No,
honestly.
Man, I loved it. Oh my god.
I don't know. For me, Homecoming and College Dropout, Kanye will never top that. That's sort of where I'm at with him as an artist. Those. When he used to work with Common and Mos Def back in the day, that, I think that's the top shit that he's going to be able to put out. I mean, he can, 2 words, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, he can keep going, but I don't know. I don't even think he knows where the fuck he's going. But
I mean, yeah.
Why don't you tell him about your obsession with Wu-Tang? Show him the tag.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we have got the shirt.
I even Master Killer. I got your verses on me. I love Kanye because I know he learned a lot from RZA. RZA's one of those producers that he changed the game for guys like Kanye West, Just Blaze, I can't even think of, maybe LP guys like that like, you know, this real heavy samples are going in. And I mean, I like Kanye's earlier work because I sense a lot of that RZA production, even for other people. I mean, Kanye is of such an important figure. I don't always like where he's headed with these new songs, but I mean, as a lyricist, I think Kanye might be, you know, he's sharp right now. He's mean, you know, meaner than ever. So I find it interesting, but I don't know. Definitely his staples will always be the foundation of why we
older stuff.
Why we love him, you know.
Yeah, College Dropout. Even to go further back from that, those original mixtapes, where he's just kind of doing his thing on those, and that's very kind of almost reminiscent of what you guys are doing, where you're out there, you're getting it done, you're just doing it.
Absolutely. As a performer, I look up to Kanye West. I know I was looking at an interview with Talib Kweli, and he was talking about how Kanye would come out in a wheelchair and stuff, and then get up and, you know, surprise and everybody would love it, and the other MCs didn't want him to do it. And it was cool. Like, you know, he's a real performer, and I look up to someone like that for, you know, getting crowd energy, and maybe we'll start ranting time to time too.
So I guess production, inspiration-wise, because we already had him,
right.
we're very clearly, he's got show him the belt buckle, killing it, rocking it. What about you, like, production-wise?
I'm into a lot, like what I listen to now. I know that at the clubs and stuff, I play a lot of more mainstream commercialized music, but my main influence, I'd say, would be Starslinger, Baths, Shlomo, just the whole LA beat scene that's going on. Ground is Lava. These guys absolutely kill it on the MPD, like live production wise. Their shows are just phenomenal. Flying Lotus, artists like that. But I don't really follow the mainstream music as much. Like I'm always surprised when I'm at a bar and everyone's singing the words, and there's some songs that are on the radio. I don't even listen to the radio really, so I don't know. I just like things that are different and that are constantly moving forward, I guess. But what about you?
Any MC that keeps it real, I'll always listen to. My favorites will always be the 90s East Coast kind of, you know, guys that always held it down, DITC and Woo and Boot Camp Click, whoever. But yeah, I mean, I keep an ear out for a lot of, you know, hip hop that's especially going on in Canada close. I'm trying to get to know more local people and hopefully get involved.
And it's very much finding your own sort of rhythm with it. It's not like the radio anymore, where what you consume is kind of decided for you, where now you have your internet and you go out and you find your own stuff. And
it's the best.
It's the bit of the reverse.
I mean, I always find it funny when these guys, they get mad, of course, for the pirating of their music, but I mean, gee, you're getting your music out to how many different people, different demographics through the internet. You can only thank the internet. I mean, I'm sure, you know, it's taken money away from the artists, of course, but at the same time, the exposure is unbelievable. I mean, it's the best thing for people like us, just coming up, slapping YouTube pages around, check this out, check that. I know we've been on Twitter and things like that, like the Twitter community. If you want to get 1,000 more followers, just put that you're a producer or a rapper. I mean, everybody's, you know, checking out each other's stuff.
Just like there's a local community, there is an online community.
Absolutely. We gotta tap both. I mean, you gotta be present in the physical, but you also have to, you know, have substance that people can go back to when they're, you know, going to bed or whatever. You know, if you're getting into their MP3s and in their car stereo, whatever, through the MP3, I mean, you know, thanks internet.
There's a community there, especially here in Peterborough. There's a community. These aren't pre-recorded things. You're mastering it, you're making it, you're producing it, you're cultivating and manufacturing these beats. There's original lyricism. What's next for you two as a duo?
I don't know. I guess we're just going to be looking for a new show. Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen, of the Peterborough population. There's going to be a new Wagwan and Schmidt Sang show coming soon. Hopefully we can get some local talent, like we said, out there as well. And get a good energy going. But definitely a new show is going to be coming, a new recorded material that we're going to have to get across to you via Facebook, Twitter, however, whatever you do, you nerds, we'll find you.
So I guess just to wrap up, anybody else you guys want to give a shout out to?
I'd say shout out to Higgs B. Homie always helped me out a lot along the years. Pithra, Danny Taro of Color Up, the guys at Love for Life Collective, the Token Players, Juice of course too. Who else?
Absolutely. I mean, shout out to all Uxbridge bands doing their thing, always representing. You pretty Schmitty, yeah. I'll always be, keeping up with the Uxbridge music scene for sure. Oh yeah.